different things that you can look out for and work on as you get out here and you navigate and start getting involved with certain your relationships. I believe that your time with me will be beneficial to you as well as me. But I also believe that this will be a blessing to everybody that sees this video. And I'm believing that you're going to like, subscribe, share it out, and share it and get the information to other individuals that you know that are in the position that they need to hear this information. One of the things with what I'm finding right now in society, and I'm making a video about it already, is that I'm going to make the video and say, stop getting married. Just stop getting married. That's kind of where I'm coming from. It's kind of an arrogant, I can't say arrogant, it's kind of a bold stance, but it's a stance I think that needs to take place, because as a society, I find that, there's many circumstances that are coming across my desk of individuals that are married, that are in supposedly committed relationships, but these people are not living by the vows and the words and the things that they've said. And I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here to just say that there's so much damage that's being caused within society based upon making a vow with our words, saying certain things, doing certain things, but then turning right around after saying that I am going to love, I'm going to honor, I'm going to cherish, I'm going to commit, I'm going to be faithful, I'm going to, in depth do its part, in sickness and health, and all the other things. And then after everything is said and done, then there isn't a full-time commitment to the words that are said. It's hit or miss. It's good or bad. It's not the consistency, the persistency to stay with the commitment that you made. It's easy to make a commitment. It's easy to say, I want to be a business owner. It's easy to say, I want to be in a relationship. And what we find is that most individuals that don't have something, they want something. They want the thing that they don't have. What does that look like? You have individuals that are in relationships, they want to be single. You have people that are single that want to be in relationships. You have people that are married that want to be single. You have people and vice versa. You have people that don't have kids, want kids. You have people that don't have a business, want to start. So many of us want things that we don't necessarily have. That's part of our makeup as people. But the point with all of this, and why I'm going to make that video on stop getting married, is because of the things that I'm seeing as I'm running into people, and I'm seeing all of the damage that's being caused by all of the infidelity that's going on, all of the flirting, all of the chattiness, all of the disrespect. Because if you're doing something and you've made a commitment to a person and you're going something behind their back, and you're doing something, you're having conversations with other people, and you're presenting yourself as if you're something, a person that's single and you're not, then you're being disrespectful to a person that you said that you would be loyal to, a person that has trust in you, a person that now cannot trust you as they start finding out certain information, as they start looking at what you're doing, because that's for most people, that's going to take a process. That's going to take time to happen, because if they're in a place where they believe in you and they believe in your word, they're not going to believe that you're doing anything wrong, because they're going to, in their mind, they're going to make a reason as to why X, Y, and Z is happening, or why, you said certain things, and, because they're going to gaslight themselves. Let's keep it simple. They will gaslight themselves because they will refuse to believe that you can do what you're doing. And the thing with all of this is that this is all based upon a personal commitment, a personal decision that someone makes. The decision to be loyal is a personal decision. It has nothing to do with your spouse, your partner. It has nothing to do with your background. It has nothing to do with your age, your race, or anything else. It has everything to do with your character and your makeup and who you are as a person. This is why you hear people say on these different quotes is that, I would never get involved with a person that is unfaithful to their wife or to their husband. And why? Why do people have that as a statement, or they say that as a quote or a statement? Why? Because if that person can be that brutal against a person and that diabolical against a person supposedly that they love, what do you actually think in this world that they would do to you? What do you think that they would do to you? Because the sky's the limit. There's no boundaries that they won't cross. And they're showing you based upon their behavior. One of the biggest keys with all of this stuff, and as you're going through healing, I stress this to individuals that I take through my coaching, the coaching journey. One of the biggest keys is stop listening to what people are saying. Stop listening to what they are saying. They are masterful with their words. Their words, but the truth is not in them. They don't know how to speak the truth. They only know how to speak lies and deception and manipulation because they know how to control. That's their deal. Their deal isn't faithfulness and honesty. So you can't get, and this is all as a means of that you won't get yourself in a predicament trusting someone that is not and investing in someone that has not given or shown that they are worthy of that trust, because not every individual that we trust is worthy of the trust. And so the first thing, when you look at the definition, loyalty represents a firm, unwavering commitment. It's a firm, unwavering commitment. And so when you look at loyalty, loyalty is your foundation. It's the thing by which you will stand or which you will fall. And that's why it says a firm commitment. Commitment represents something that you say that you want to do. I want to start going to the gym. I want to start working out. I want to start eating better. I want to start getting healthier. I want to get into this relationship, and I want to be faithful. But when you make that commitment, with all of us, the thing that you have to remember initially when you make that commitment, it's easy to make the commitment from the beginning, because in the beginning, when we make the commitment, we're making that commitment from a place of a high place, a place where we're on 10. We're in a great place mentally. But then the first morning you wake up and you still promise yourself to go to the gym, and maybe it's raining. That could be your excuse of not keeping that commitment. Or maybe you're tired because you had to stay up late to finish an assignment for work, or any number of things that could happen, because life is going to get in the way of your commitment. Life will test your commitment. When you say you want to do something, there's life and parts of life that's going to come in and test that commitment to see if you're going to stick to it. And so when you look at the definition, it says loyalty is a firm, unwavering commitment. So that means that your commitment you're not vacillating back and forth. It's a commitment that you're standing on. You made it. And so commitment represents that I'm going to do this thing regardless of how I feel, regardless of the weather, regardless of what happens, whether it's highs, whether there's lows, whether there's good times, whether there's bad times. But that's part of the vows. This is why I said stop getting married. Let's just stop getting married. As a culture, we need to just stop getting married. We're wasting our time. If we're not making commitments to people and we're just going to play games, stop getting married, because you're just damaging more people. And the more people you damage, the more kids that are damaged, the more families that are busted up. And it's just more perpetual damage that's going on over and over and over again, based upon people being selfish. Be honest enough to say that I'm not interested in being married. Or even if you are married and you're going to be unfaithful, you need to let that person know. And if you're not confident, or if you're not big and bad enough to let them know, then why are you doing it? Because the foundation of your relationship needs to be trust and loyalty, but it also needs to be honesty and transparency. Those are the foundations. If you don't have those foundations, it's not going to stand anyway. It's just at some point, whenever that point is, whenever that day is, whenever that hour is, whenever that moment is, at some point, it's just going to fall apart based upon selfishness and dishonesty and disloyalty and weakness, which weakness is in all of us. But being honest about it is the key. Be honest about where you are. It's so simple, because then you can salvage the person that they don't have to go through so much trauma and trying to get better after they understand or find out what you've been doing for all this time behind their backs. I had an associate that was telling me a story, and in this particular story, there was a woman that was a realtor, and what she would do is she was she bought houses or some type of investor or something like that, and she was doing this with her husband. And in the process of time, from my understanding, the neighbor said that they started noticing that this realtor would go to this certain house, which was her house, pretty consistently throughout the week, and there was this other car that would go and meet her there at the same time. And so, in the process of time, that started making the neighbors around there suspicious, especially this one particular lady who knew the owner of that project. And she ended up asking that person that owned the project one day about, I keep seeing your car over here every day, and it's always with this other person, and just asking out of curiosity. She said, I'm not sure if something, and she wasn't asking like to insinuate or anything like that. But when she asked the question from a place of, from my understanding, she asked the question from a place of, trying to understand, because she was watching the project. She was watching this project for this particular person because, I guess the owner had built a level of friendship with the people around the project. And so she what she would do is she kind of kept an eye on the project, just as a neighbor, just as a person that's cordial and respectful. And plus she wanted to watch it, as she watched it, she could see the improvements and what was going on, because she had a family member that was interested from what she was saying. And so long story short, as she talked to that person about, the people that were coming to that house pretty regularly throughout the week, then what ended up happening is that she when she mentioned it to that owner, the owner ended up kind of getting a little bit suspicious, and he started monitoring some things. He ended up putting some cameras up, and lo and behold, he found out that his spouse was being unfaithful to him. And so why am I talking about this? Because this whole lesson is about loyalty. That's why I started with kind of a bold statement, a glaring statement. I said, it's time to stop. It's time to stop for people in general to stop getting married, because there's a level of not there's a level of individuals not being serious about the vow that they made. When you understand, if you're going under the law of marriage, because especially most people that do that, they're going under that biblical law of marriage, believing that they should marry a person and they're joined and all the other things that go along with that. But the problem is, if you're taking on that vow, it's the vows are very important. When you make a vow the words that you say are important. So what that represents is, in this day and time, it's not necessarily as important to some individuals what they say versus what they do, but in different times, earlier times, when people spoke a word, that's why people could have handshakes and agree to deals, because your word had to mean something. That's why when you stood in front of that preacher, you stood in front of that altar, you stood in front of that family, her family or his family and her family, and you stood in front of all those people, and you stood before God, supposedly, and you said, I vow to love and to honor and to cherish and to, and to in sickness and in health and death do us part. And when we made that vow, you didn't make that vow just in front of people. That vow was a spiritual covenant. That vow was a spiritual connection, covenant, and agreement that you were supposed to have. And so once that vow was made, and all of a sudden, if you're going to go and take that vow, the word that you said, because it's better not to make a vow than to make it and then not keep your word. If you're making vows and not keeping your word, then your word won't be good to people anymore, because they're not going to believe that you're going to keep your word, because your word won't be your bond. Your word won't mean anything. People just be like, man, he's just, he don't speak the truth. He's just a liar. So when you get back to the definition, loyalty represents a firm, unwavering commitment. Do you have a firm, unwavering commitment to your spirituality? Do you have a firm? And this is kind of what I'm talking about. Loyalty isn't just about relationships. It's, are you loyal to what you believe spiritually? Are you loyal to, if you make an agreement to join something or to do something? Where's your level of loyalty? Does it waver? Is it back and forth? Because if you're wavering, then that represents an instability. A man that wavers or a woman that wavers, they're unstable in all of their ways. There's no stability within that foundation. This is why loyalty and commitment are critical in any relationship. That's why I talk about it. Loyalty and commitment, truth and transparency. Those are the four roots that have to be set in anything that you're going to do if you're going to get the long-term success that you're looking for. And so when you look at this, it says a firm, unwavering commitment to a person, a group, a cause, an institution, and it's shown through support, consistency. So it's not shown through inconsistency. Inconsistency represents that you do something one day, but you don't do it another day. That there's the whole wavering back and forth, that there's no continually trying to move forward and continually staying on top of things and continually, working through the process. Because if you're in a relationship, whether it's your spiritual relationship or intimate or personal relationship with somebody else, there's going to be stages you're going to go through with that person. There's going to be highs and lows. There's going to be good and bad. There's going to be, there's going to be some instability because you're trying to mesh two individuals into one. With all of the stuff that they're bringing, all of the stuff that you're bringing, you're trying to combine two people with two different beliefs into one thought process, because you have to be going in the same direction. What benefit is to have two people in a boat and one paddling one way and one paddling the other way? You're just going to go around in circles. But if we're both rowing the same direction, if we're both doing the same thing and we're going to the same direction, we have the same vision. We're fighting the same cause. This individual is in your corner. They're not fighting against you. They're in your corner. They're telling you that I'm with you. They're not telling you in word, because part of loyalty and disloyalty that you'll find is the disloyal ones will say all of the words that need to be said. Oh, I can do this, or I'll do this. And they'll tell you everything that they can do and they'll do, but they won't show it in their actions. Disloyalty is manifest by actions. It's not manifest through words. That's why if you want to stay away from heartbreak, this is why I'm so passionate about this topic, because I don't want people hurt. If you want to stay away from heartbreak, you have to watch and be in tune with yourself, but also in tune with others' actions around you. Are you judging them? You could be, but so what? All of us judge anyway. It's something that people try to act like they don't do, but and yet there's a verse that's talking about judge not to do. Yeah, but the bottom line is most people, all of us judge. We have a judgment in our mind. We make an assessment in our mind. But I'm not talking, when I talk about judgment, true judgment, that you're saying you're condemning someone to 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's the type of judgment I'm talking about when I talk about judgment. But we make basic judgments based upon behavior and things that people do. That's why sometimes we allow individuals to do things, because in our mind we think, oh well, they're okay. That they didn't mean that, and that's a judgment. Whether it's good or bad, it's still a judgment. And they could have meant it for evil, but because your heart is so kind and you're coming from a place of where your heart is open and you don't have any evil intent towards people, your mindset's going to be different than theirs. You're coming from a different place. You're cut from a different cloth. I had to learn that lesson. It was challenging, but I had to learn that lesson. And now that I learned it, I've learned it. I don't waver with it any longer. So the definition: loyalty is a firm, unwavering commitment to a person, a group, or a cause, or an institution. And it's shown through support, consistency, and effort, even when it's challenging. Because there will be challenges. There will be ups and downs. There will be times of hardship and defeat and sadness, and there will be times when loss of job or just illness. Or that's why when you look at the vows in sickness and in health, the good times, the bad times, death to part, X, Y, and Z. That's why all that stuff is talked about, because someone had the vision enough to say, you know what? Everything's not going to be like it is right now today, on our wedding day, or on the day that we are so high and so happy. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be stumbling blocks. There's going to be challenging things that are going to crop up. And then at that point, what are you going to do? Are you going to stand? That's the question that I would have you ask yourself. Are you going to stand? Because just because you're challenged by something, does that mean that you're going to waver and fall apart? Or do you have enough intestinal fortitude that you're going to fight the good fight? You're going to keep the faith. You're going to keep going. You're not going to waver and fall apart because every little piece isn't in place. You're going to know that somehow that this thing is going to work out in my favor. That every shut door is just another opportunity for another door to open. That every no is just another opportunity for me to get the yes that I'm supposed to get. Because not everybody's supposed to be around you or be a part of your life. And so every time you get a no concerning something, that's just somebody that probably ain't supposed to be around your life, because they weren't going to bring anything to it. They were just going to try to take the life from you, because some aren't going to invest anything to you. They're going to just try to take everything from you. And if you're a giver, you know what I'm talking about. Anybody that's going to watch this in the future, when I post it, they know what I'm talking about. If you are truly a giver and you've given your entire life, you know what I'm talking about, because you've always been in the place where you've given and done for other people and haven't really gotten anything in back in return, except for the expectation that you are supposed to do it. We got a lot of people in my family that are going to be in for a really, really big shock real soon. Really big shock real soon. Because certain things they're going to ask me for, they will not be getting. In the past, my whole agenda was to try to do things for other people. That's not happening any longer. Because when I was at my lowest and I needed things, there was nobody there. No person was actually there. So if I didn't have a spiritual connection and didn't end up finding a coach throughout that process, where would I have been? So all the people that I had invested in, they were nowhere to be found. And most of them, when I would talk to them, their mindset and their overall thought process was, "Oh, you don't need anything. You're fine." That was their opinion. "Oh, you don't need anything. You're fine." So that's my thought for y'all for today. And again, I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Thank y'all for the likes, the taps, the shares. I'm going to be sharing this lesson on loyalty. I just wanted to give a brief overview and an introduction to it. But I'm going to be digging deep down into this because it's important to find people that are truly loyal. That not only that are loyal in word, but that are actually loyal in deed, where their deeds are matching up with their words. And so when you find that, you would have found something that is precious in the society that we're in today. And so that's why I started this whole thing with, please, can we stop getting married as a community and as a world and just stop getting married. Just stop. I could give you many stories of people that just even recently that I've been around and just seen the flirtation and all the stuff that's just disrespectful. It's just very, very disrespectful. And if their spouse found out, how would that person feel? Yeah. But when people are in their thing, they don't care about how someone else feels. It's all about them and their ego, stroking their ego. And so, I wish nothing but the best for everybody that watches this. I believe that people that watch it, they will get a lot out of it. Again, I'm going to make this into a series. I'm going to probably teach this pretty regularly this week. But because I have kind of a format or outline of it, and I'll dig down deep into it and I'll rip it apart and open it up. And so if somebody's in here, you can just kind of hit that subscribe button or the I believe it's just the subscribe, and so it'll notify you when I'm on here, because I want to get on here and get start really digging into this lesson, because it's something I know is going to make a tremendous difference for any person that watches, that hears, and that sees, because loyalty is important. Someone that is loyal not only in word, but someone that is loyal in deed. And I put up a post. I just popped it up on TikTok before I got on here. And on that post, I put, "Stop investing loyalty into individuals that ask for it, so that they value that ask for it, and don't show that they value it, and are not willing to give it. If they're not willing to give it, stop investing it into them, because you're investing into something that you'll never get the return, and it just brings heartbreak. You're investing in future heartbreak, because that's the only thing that they'll be able to do to you is break your heart, because you have a good heart, and you're opening up your heart to and investing your heart in someone that does not deserve it.